bulky. And I think a lot of people have been pointing out a lot of things where they're like side by side when she's been like sitting down. It's really noticeable with her arms. It seems like she's lost quite a decent chunk of the bulk that she put on in the off season. And I think that might be a good thing. Because obviously, look, she worked her ass off in the off season and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And a lot of people are saying like,
recent observations suggest that Caitlin Clark has undergone a noticeable physical transformation, with multiple sources indicating she has shed considerable bulk gained during her previous training period. Video footage and images show the Indiana Fever star appearing significantly leaner than during her earlier bulked-up phase, particularly in her arms and legs, resembling her rookie season physique more closely. The change has become apparent through various workout sessions and team activities where Clark appears visibly slimmer. Side-by-side comparisons reveal a marked difference in her overall build, especially when seated, with her limbs showing reduced mass compared to her previous muscular development phase. This shift represents a departure from the substantial strength training regimen she pursued during her break from competition.
Off in the offseason, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And a lot of people are saying, like, putting on that much bulk isn't going to affect it. And I don't think it's the specific bulk. It could genuinely have just been the way she was lifting. Like, if you've seen a lot of kind of S&C people, if you check a lot of players, if they change, it's not even about how heavy they're lifting. It's not about the weight. Like, I don't think the weight itself could have was going to really like change Caitlyn too much. But like the redistribution of muscle,
Many observers view this transformation positively, recalling how effective Clark was during her initial professional season when she possessed a more streamlined build that allowed for exceptional speed and agility on the court. Her rookie year performance was characterized by explosive movements and the ability to outmaneuver opponents with ease, attributes that may have been compromised by excessive bulk. The previous strength training approach appears to have been unsuccessful despite Clark's dedicated efforts in the weight room. Various factors could have contributed to this outcome, including improper lifting techniques, uneven muscle development, or simply an incompatible training methodology for her playing style and body type. Athletes who dramatically alter their workout routines after years of minimal weight training can sometimes experience unexpected consequences.
Obviously, the amount of time she spent in the gym, the way she was lifting, she talked about not really liking lifting in the past. And when you've gone from not really lifting to 8 months of lifting, basically, it can have an effect. It can have an effect if you're building muscle in certain areas. There can be, all it takes for something like some sort of misalignment is maybe just is bad form on certain lifts.
Physical imbalances can develop when muscle growth occurs unevenly across the body, or when lifting form is inadequate. Such issues may lead to biomechanical problems that affect athletic performance and increase injury susceptibility. Even minor muscle imbalances can create cascading effects throughout an athlete's movement patterns, particularly for someone who relies on precise timing and coordination. Clark's situation mirrors cases where elite athletes experience ongoing minor injuries stemming from a single biomechanical issue. Small misalignments can lead to compensatory movements that stress other body parts, creating a cycle of recurring problems.
Is bad form on certain lifts. Bad form on certain lifts, and maybe one side of your body's put on more muscle on the other side. But it looks like Caitlin Clark is back. Skinny Caitlin Clark is back. And for me, anyway, that's something that you kind of want to see. You want to see Caitlin get back to that rookie year Caitlin. And look, it could have been anyone. Like, heck, it could have been her team that messed up. It could have been her team that messed up at all. But, like, I'm looking at some of the quote tweets here.
While these injuries may not be severe individually, they can accumulate over time and significantly impact performance consistency. The current assessment suggests that Clark's issues are not career-threatening or indicative of major structural damage. Instead, they appear to be mechanical problems that could potentially be resolved through proper training adjustments and biomechanical corrections. Professional athletes operating at Clark's intensity level are particularly sensitive to physical changes, as even minor alterations in weight distribution or muscle mass can affect their movement efficiency.
It could have been her team that messed up at all. But, like, I'm looking at some of the quote tweets here. There's one here. I think this is the first video where I see what y'all are saying about her losing some muscle. And that's, for me anyway, I got sent this one, I'm like, it kind of makes sense. Do we think it's good or not? Can't tell if she lost weight or being gaslit and believing she did. No, she did. She did. Like 3 to 5 pounds on a 6-foot person isn't visible to the naked eye. Apart from the arms, that was the issue. This was the issue. It didn't help. Injuries in her legs all at once.
Recovery and return to optimal form may require a modified approach to strength and conditioning, focusing on functional movements that complement rather than hinder her natural athletic abilities. The emphasis should be on maintaining her explosive speed and agility rather than building excessive bulk that could compromise her signature playing style. Looking ahead to potential off-season activities, Clark has multiple options for maintaining competitive fitness and skill development. European basketball leagues offer attractive opportunities, particularly contracts that might allow participation in only premium competitions like the EuroLeague, while avoiding extensive domestic league commitments.
In her legs all at once. You can tell by side to sides. Like, you're saying 3 to 5 pounds. It's probably a little bit more than that. But, like, you can tell a lot of the time with stuff like that. You can. You could tell coming into the year. We saw it in the offseason. Even when she was, like, even when she had bulked up, her legs had gotten bigger. Her legs had gotten bigger. And it's always one of those things for me when it comes to players like this where you're like,
such arrangements would provide high-level competition without excessive physical demands. Alternative options include participation in the Chinese Basketball League, where she could potentially control her playing intensity, or involvement in the Unrivaled League, which might offer better developmental opportunities. The 3-on-3 format could allow her to work on specific skill areas while maintaining competitive sharpness. Additionally, her market value and influence could potentially support the creation of custom competitive arrangements tailored to her needs.
Things for me when it comes to players like this where you're like, hopefully any sort of bulk, any sort of weight is good weight, because sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it's just not. Like, and when that happens, you just kind of gotta hope that nothing bad happens, and clearly something bad did happen with Caitlin Clark. And look, at the end of the day, it's not like this is anything drastic.
Given her passion for the sport, extended absence from competitive basketball seems unlikely. The combination of her love for the game and the various opportunities available suggests she will find a suitable competitive outlet during the off-season period. Regarding her immediate return to the Indiana Fever, the team's playoff positioning makes her participation likely. With the Fever already secured in the playoff race, there appears to be little strategic reason to keep Clark sidelined.
This is anything drastic. And I still don't think that what's wrong with Caitlin Clark is anything drastic. But it's one of those things where anything out of line, when you are a professional sports person, heck, like I've seen it at like the higher levels of amateur, where somebody has some sort of an injury, a lower body injury, and it just continually causes different lower body injuries. Like I have a friend, he played.
A gradual return involving limited minutes across several games could help her regain form while providing the team with a significant competitive advantage. Clark's presence alone gives Indiana a realistic chance against any opponent, including top-tier teams. Her unique skill set and game-changing ability make her valuable even if not operating at peak physical condition. The franchise's playoff aspirations and Clark's competitive drive align to make her return both logical and beneficial for all parties involved.
Like, what the hell? She got hit here. Both of her eyes are now, like... Like, what are we doing? Why was she let back in the game? Like, obviously, look, it's a basketball play. It is what it is.
The situation ultimately represents a learning experience in athletic development, highlighting the importance of individualized training approaches for elite athletes. Clark's physical transformation back to a more suitable build demonstrates a
basketball play. It is what it is. This is absolutely unacceptable from the training staff. This is absolutely unacceptable from the training staff. I'm sorry, this is unacceptable from the training staff. And whoever gave her the okay to go back in there into that game. Like, it looks, she might have fractured her fucking skull. Like, I'm angry. I'm actually angry on a human level. You don't fuck around with head injuries. I don't.
The injury occurred during what appeared to be a routine basketball play, yet the aftermath suggests a concerning lack of proper medical evaluation. Hull was permitted to return to action despite sustaining what medical experts would classify as a potentially serious head trauma. The decision to clear her for continued participation has drawn criticism from safety advocates who question the thoroughness of the concussion assessment protocols. Medical analysis of similar injuries indicates that facial trauma of this magnitude typically results from forceful contact that can cause blood vessels to rupture beneath the skin.
Actually angry on a human level. You don't fuck around with head injuries. I don't care. Lexi Hull obviously wanted to go back in the game. She's tough as nails. You don't fuck around with that shit. She could have fractured her damn skull. I hope she got a CT scan. If she didn't get a scan immediately, I want whatever doctor okayed her to not get a scan to be fired on the spot. And I mean that. If it turns out she got a scan, she's okay. It is what it is. But if it turns out she got put back in the game, if it turns out that they've just ignored this whole thing, and they're like, oh no, she's fine, she passed.
The resulting hemorrhaging creates the characteristic discoloration visible around Hull's eye sockets, a condition known as periorbital bruising or raccoon eyes. Such symptoms often accompany more serious underlying injuries, including potential skull fractures that require immediate radiological examination. Standard concussion protocols involve basic neurological assessments, but these tests are notoriously unreliable for detecting all forms of brain trauma. Many athletes have previously passed preliminary screenings while experiencing significant cognitive impairment. The visual tracking tests commonly used on sidelines represent only a fraction of comprehensive neurological evaluation needed to rule out serious injury.
Put back in the game. If it turns out that they've just ignored this whole thing, and they're like, oh no, she's fine, she passed the concussion test. We waved a finger in front of her eye and she was able to follow it. Like, plenty of people have passed concussion tests and have been completely dazed. Plenty of people have been sent back out into games with concussions. Like, it's not like it's something that's not only does it happen, it is extremely common. It is extremely common that people play with concussions. Paige Beckers nearly got knocked out and she went back in the game. Then missed.
Hull's case mirrors troubling patterns seen across professional sports, where competitive pressure often overrides medical caution. Previous incidents involving other athletes demonstrate how inadequate initial assessments can lead to prolonged health complications. The case of Paige Beckers serves as a recent example, where a player returned to competition after appearing dazed, only to miss subsequent games due to concussion symptoms that became apparent later. The severity of Hull's visible injuries suggests that imaging studies should have been mandatory before any consideration of return to play.
Extremely common that people play with concussions. Paige Beckers nearly got knocked out and she went back in the game. Then missed 5 games. Yes, she missed 5 games with a concussion. In a game where she nearly got knocked out and they put her back in the game. Like, this is scary. A knot in the forehead caused blood vessel to break and leak blood into surrounding tissue. Blood from the injury can spread downwards, causing bruising around the eyes. Hope she had a CT scan to rule out a skull fracture.
Computed tomography scans represent the gold standard for detecting skull fractures and intracranial bleeding that might not manifest in basic neurological testing. The absence of such precautionary measures raises questions about the medical staff's adherence to modern safety standards. Additional concerns have emerged regarding the team's handling of Hull's previous jaw injury, which reportedly went unexamined despite her difficulty closing her mouth and dental misalignment. This pattern suggests systemic deficiencies in the organization's approach to injury management and player welfare.
Fracture. How was she not concussed? She almost certainly was concussed. She almost certainly was concussed. Let's be completely honest. She almost certainly was concussed. Like, and even if she wasn't concussed, you always err on the side of caution with a concussion. You always err on the side of caution when it comes to head injuries. And there's
Hull's reputation as an extremely tough competitor likely influenced her desire to continue playing, but medical professionals should never allow player preferences to override safety protocols. The responsibility for protecting athletes from themselves during moments of compromised judgment falls entirely on trained medical personnel who understand the long-term consequences of head trauma. The recommendation for Hull's immediate removal from upcoming games appears medically sound given the visual evidence of her injuries. Participation in physical contact sports while displaying such extensive facial trauma creates unnecessary risks for further head impacts that could compound existing damage.
Head injuries. And there's no way she should be allowed to play tomorrow. There's absolutely no way she should be allowed to play tomorrow. She didn't get hit anywhere near her eyes. How is she not concussed? She probably is. That is the answer. The answer is that she probably was. Like, leaving for tomorrow is an intimidation factor. Why would she play? Don't play tomorrow.
The competitive importance of any single game pales in comparison to an athlete's long-term neurological health. Professional medical evaluation by specialists outside the team's immediate influence would provide objective assessment free from organizational pressure to return players quickly. Independent medical opinions often reveal complications that team physicians might minimize due to competitive considerations or institutional loyalty. The situation highlights broader issues within professional sports regarding the balance between competitive demands and athlete safety.
Why would she play? Don't play tomorrow. Don't play tomorrow, please. Like, cause black eyes because a blow to the face breaks blood vessels, causing blood fluids to leak under the pool of skin around the eye. Like, don't play tomorrow. Like, at least the knot is gone. Like, don't. I mean this. I don't.
Medical staffs face constant pressure to clear players for participation, sometimes leading to compromised decision-making that prioritizes short-term performance over long-term health outcomes. Hull's case should serve as a catalyst for reviewing and strengthening concussion protocols throughout the organization. The visible severity of her injuries, combined with questions about previous medical oversights, demands immediate policy changes to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The upcoming game against Los Angeles presents an opportunity for the organization to demonstrate commitment to player safety by holding Hull out regardless of competitive considerations.